Okay, so here are the clarity questions regarding the 5 percenters, the quote unquote 75 percenters, and the quote unquote 25 percenters. What I noticed with that was, guys, I really think I don't know which one I meant to say was 70% or 20%, which then leads me to believe that there's a 5% that weaves in and out of the 75 percenters and the 25 percenters. So I don't know, because when I tried to tap in and see which one was meant to be the either 20% or 70%, it just felt weird. They both look okay as 70 and 20%, but where that 5% goes often intrigues me. So then it makes me wonder if that 5% is either sometimes in the energy of the 75% and the 20%, or henceforth the 70% and 20%, and then this invisible 5%. So let's just look at it that way. But for explanation's sake, we'll just right now say that the 75 percenters are the large bulk, and then the 20 percenters are the ones that are, the numbers people. We'll call them the numbers people for, chill's sake. We can just talk like we chilling or whatever. So her question was, first let me clear this up, because her question basically was saying if I never talked to anyone in the 3D as a 5 percenter. Like, basically, I know she was asking if have I only been in contact with 75 percenters and 25 percenters if I never talked to any 5 percenters. So that it definitely wasn't clear, guys, because I was just pulling the energy as I was going. Because trust me, if I orchestrated or planned any of the messages ahead of time, I would definitely be using no kind of numbers or percentages, because I'm not a numbers gal. I'm not. So, but since we're here, it needs to be cleared up, and I'm glad to do it. I'm glad y'all was interested in it to get it cleared up. So let's try to clear it up. I got the cards just in case. I don't know what's finna happen. I never know what's gonna happen. Okay, so let me clear up first that when I say I've never spoken to one, and what I meant, because I think what she could be referencing is when I said that maybe, that I did say that 5 percenters don't even watch Chris readings and stuff like that. Okay, and then I think she was curious to know if any 5 percenters were in membership. But overall, I get what she's saying. She's like, so do you know, period, do you know any 5 percenters or not? And I think really that question is, they're saying in air. And even I myself would say that, because the whole thing is we're all and can be that, but then the number would go up. So now I see why they were putting the 5%, bouncing that 5% between a 70 and 20, because there is the 5 percenters. So I can't say I haven't talked to any in the 3D, but here's the catch with 5. Let's start with 5%, and I'll work my way over with what my experiences are with all categories. With 5 percenters, I can say that she asked if I talked to any in the 3D. Have any of them been in membership? Or is it that I've never met any of them or talked to them, and I've only been talking to 75 and 25%? All things could be true at the same time. But, and that's the thing with 5 percenters, is it gets tricky in that way that, sure, I've talked to 5 percenters in the 3D, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were here with me in the 3D. Could they somehow, transmute themselves or transport themselves in that sense? Yeah, possibly. But that's the whole thing about 5 percenters. There's no time and space. So a lot of times what we do when we're trying to make sense of things is we tend to want to put timestamps on things, or we want to know how things are going to be done, or either it's hard for us to focus on the outcome of something if it doesn't seem like what we're doing in the present time is matching that. The only thing you have to worry about aligning with what you want the outcome to be is your emotions, how you feel. And because most of the time outcomes that we feel or want makes us feel good, just feel good, because you're never going to know exactly how it's gonna happen. Because a lot of times the way things happen, they'll seem like you're off track, because sometimes you have to do certain things in order to get there. Y'all know I always use this as an example. You can see things, but that doesn't mean you just drive across the medians and stuff to get to get to it. You have to get down there in the city, and you have to learn the roads to really get there, to get to what you can see from the ocean. I'm thinking of the Statue of Liberty, for instance. You know what I'm saying? You just say, oh, Statue of Liberty, let me just zoom on over there, let me drive. And you got to find the roads to get there. But it's like right there, you can see it. That's how I like to describe outcomes of things, and then how you are supposed to strategize and figure out how to get there. But you're not going to be in a mood to get there if you don't feel good. So that's the best way I can describe 5%ers in my communication with them. Is that they're somewhere around, and sometimes they could be visible and sometimes they're not. But what I meant by, now I'm going to the 75%ers, what I meant by they don't watch his readings, generally what I mean is they're not consumed by them, and if they watch them, they're watching them to, again, transmute energy or reference something. It's meaningful and through wisdom, or to find wisdom, but it's not in a sense of, how do I explain the way that if they do, because she did ask, so were any of them in membership at all? And it goes on to our next question, which will tether onto this one as well, or tack onto this one. But oh my God, this is complicated. But they're around, but they're everything, and I can't say you're a 5%er. You're not that means I'm being a 75%er to say something like that. When you think 5%, think everything is everything. And the moment that any person that's in a vehicular human body is in that energy, they are a 5%er. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I can, or anybody in this group could go to a 75%er or 20%er and say, I'm a 5%er. This is not 5% behavior. So that's why I couldn't talk about them much, or talk on them much, or even characterize them really. They don't conform to anything here on earth. They don't, it's almost like, water, right? And how they describe it in karate and stuff, how it just takes the shape of what it goes into, those are 5%ers. And 5%ers aren't really human bodies, but they just are. And that doesn't mean you're always a 5%er, which goes to her next, I think this is her next question. Let's see. Let me speed the speaking rate up a little bit.
Edit characters, words, lines, speak containers. Speaking rate 70%, 75%.
Yeah, how about that? For kicker's sake, we'll put the speaking rate at 75%. But okay, so wait, before we go to our next question, so yes, I talk to 75%ers and 20%ers all the time, and I think those 5%ers just are who they are when they are what they are when they are what they are, what they need to get, what they need to get. And you'll learn more about that in the courses, right? And I don't need none of y'all bagging on me, because I promise you, courses are coming, okay? All right, don't worry about me. Ask yourself if you're ready. Look, let me deflect a little bit. No, seriously, it's time. Happy New Year to y'all too, by the way. I'm on my way to adjust the calendar information as well, but I'm going to keep the prices the same since you guys seem to respond well to those. I'll just leave it the same. You guys earned it. Shit, we're about to get into other shit anyway, so I think that's a good price range for now. Until we evolve some more. I'm playing with a lot of things. But all right, guys, that's that.